Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
It's another Talking Real Money podcast. Hi, I'm Don McDonald, along with my partner over there, Tom Cock, and we're here to talk about money with you and stuff like that. On yesterday's podcast, just a little program note, actually an addition. We had a question about Frank Vasquez and Risk Parity Radio, his podcast, and I did a little more checking. I just looked at one of these funds that he had suggested, but the portfolios the caller was talking about, when I went and checked a little further, the all seasons portfolio he mentioned, and the golden
winter,
butterfly.
Spring, summer, and fall, all 4 seasons.
All of those in one thing. Here's what the portfolio is, just so you know. It's 20%. Let me just make sure I have these right. It's 30% VTI, the U.S. stock market.
Yeah.
40% long-term bonds.
Like long-term,
TLT, long-term.
Whoa.
15% intermediate term bonds, VGIT, 7.5% gold, and 7.5% commodities. Since 1970, it's had a compounded growth rate after inflation of 5.6%.
Okay, here's a guess. I bet you could take VT. You can't go back this far. But take VT at 60% and BND. I always forget the bond.
He doesn't have BND. He's using
I know. I'm saying
BND.
But you could do the
BND,
two of those.
Correct. Yeah.
And I'll bet you dollars to donuts that did better than all the work that he just talked about.
And then the golden butterfly is 20% U.S. stocks, 20% small cap value, 20% long-term treasuries, 20% short-term treasuries, and again, 20% gold.
And how much did he just gives this out free, or is he charged to manage this?
I mentioned this yesterday. He begs for money, which is fine.
Okay. All right. Well.
He says, please send me Ethereum.
Oh, that's right.
It's all about NFT or purchase an NFT.
Nifty, yeah.
I don't get what these anyway. It's all just weird. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't think it's good nor bad. I just think it's weird.
Fair enough.
And there are simpler ways to manage your money. Now, we're going to answer some questions, Tom. I need your help here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We've got so many. These were all sent in to talkingrealmoney.com and all typed in. So I will pretend I am the person asking the question, and Tom will pretend he has an answer.
This isn't going to be like that trivia game I play at dinner where I never have the answers, right?
That one with all the pop culture stuff.
I know none of it.
And
my
please.
13-year-old daughter beats the pants every night. I'm like, come on. I've never even heard of these people. So let's hope it's not.
Although
like that.
World War II trivia, he'll wipe the floor with you.
Thank you for mentioning that. I'm going to find the World War II trivia game and put that for dinner. I'm going to look good then. Yeah, okay.
All right, so this is a hey, Tom and Don.
Oh.
I'm a Vestry client and a podcast listener.
Oh, then we need to answer this one properly.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So don't mess this one up.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Good news is we got the answer. I heard a radio ad on 780 AM, Chicago's news radio, WBBM. I used to listen to BBM all the time. Talking about how 401ks take 50% of your money.
Oh, goodness. Yeah,
and the
50%.
market will crash.
That's the other 50. So now you'll be back at zero?
But there's a bank on yourself program.
Not bank on
that
yourself.
guarantees returns in good markets and bad markets. Well, it is insurance, and I'm including the link to solicit your thoughts and opinions.
Okay, I forget the specifics on Bank of Yourself, but this is not a good program.
Bank on Yourself.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Is a universal indexed universal life.
That's right.
Universal
Nobody
life.
sells that stuff anymore.
They do.
Come
the crazy
on.
Bank on Yourself people. And I'm telling you, the people who sell this, they are it's a religious experience for them. You argue with them, and what they do is they invoke their financial lord to smite you.
Jimmy Jones will show up with his Kool-Aid or something.
It's
Come on.
just they really,
Sakes.
because they make so much money on these. The commissions are huge. And they also claim that they have this gigantic tax advantage. You can take money out without paying any taxes. No, that's called a loan against your policy. And you've been able to do that with life insurance since the beginning of time. There is nothing new about this product except
it's
the
old.
indexed part.
Ah, okay.
That's the newer part. But the indexing, you only get, this is the big lie. It's the same lie with indexed annuities. Same lie. They claim you will get the return of the market with no risk. The reality is you get a portion of the return of some typically weird market index, a portion of it, up to a cap, a percentage of it up to a cap. And the actuaries have done the math, and they know that they can charge huge commissions, sometimes up to 10%, and they still come out ahead.
And you actually did a paper once on looking at the index annuity to see what percentage of the market you actually what percentage you make. And it was somewhere around 3 to 4% a year. That
3
does
to
not
4,
sound
and
like
that's
the return of the
indexed
market.
annuities. That
Yeah.
will not be as good in Index Universal
Correct.
Life
Yeah.
because it has a bigger mortality charge.
I
It
forgot.
has-
I just ran into someone who had one of these who was given to them by a family member or funded by a family member or something. And they asked what to do. I said, get your money out, do something else. Because this person was young. I go, this would be a ridiculous amount to pay over this haul. No.
They
don't
do
it.
run a lot of ads, though.
Oh, WBBM.
All right.
Okay.
Here's another
Well,
question.
all right.
This one comes to us from
switch dial to WLS. I like the station better anyway. So be my take.
BBM is news radio.
I think
LS is
too.
talk. No,
Oh.
LS is talk.
Ah, okay.
LS is talk. GN is talk. You got all the big talkers in Chicago. GN, WLS.
There's a lot of,
and then-
it's called
and then-
the Windy City, my friend.
But BBM is 24/7 news. Literally 24/7 news.
like KOMO
like-
here in Seattle. So okay.
Yeah, no, KOMO is mostly 24-hour
Oh,
news
it
until
is
they throw in Talking Real Money.
all right. But weekdays, solid.
I said 24/7, and that's where I win on this one. Our next question. Oh
Comes
my
to us
gosh.
from?
Oh my gosh. You got to listen to yesterday's show. You've got to,
Oh no,
because
that's mean.
this guy lives in Laurel, Mississippi.
No,
The home
No.
of Vicks.
Does he have a phone
Blue Plate
number?
Specials.
We got to call him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I got to
Oh,
call
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wait, he lives in the land of Vicks. Yesterday we talked
This
about
guy
Blue
has
Plate
got to
Specials.
be a Blue Plate Special guy. He has to be. It's
Oh yeah. I bet he knows Vicks. Jonathan, you know Vicks?
not a big place, Laurel. I got to imagine. So
I don't even know where Laurel is.
We're
I
gonna
better
find
look it
out.
up. I'm okay. Hold on. Maps. I'm looking it up. I got
I'm
you
looking
beat.
it up. Yeah,
You won't get there before me.
No, probably not. But
Laurel, Mississippi. It sits right here in the middle of Mississippi. It's literally pretty much north of Hattiesburg and south of Meridian and east of Jackson.
must have misspelled it. How do you spell it? Oh,
Laurel.
here it is. I know. I put that in. It didn't come. Okay. Hattiesburg is known for what?
For hats?
No. Brett Favre.
See, I did not know that.
Okay. Here you go. Yeah.
And Vicks is right downtown.
There's a surprise. It's not. This is a wide spot.
Vicks is right there at the corner.
I-59.
It's right there at the corner of Chantilly and Mississippi in beautiful downtown Laurel.
Okay.
Just a block from the Shell station, 2 blocks from Doc's East Side Wine and Liquor.
Well, maybe you go to one before you get the Blue Plate Special. I don't know. I don't
just
want to
Slightly north is the Chapel of Angels Funeral Home.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
Little
let's hope-
south is Wayne Farms, where Bruce Wayne lives. All right, so I'm going to get to this guy's question.
Yeah,
But
this is really
Jonathan,
funny.
do let us
Yeah.
know how Vicks is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
He says my you got to
They have a
listen to
Chick-fil-A too, by the way. So
Of course, it's in the South.
yeah, everybody.
This
does.
is the
And they have
law in the
Popeyes.
South. All
I
right,
don't see
can we
Vicks on here? I see Pearl's Diner. I might want to
type
go to
in
Pearl's.
Vicks?
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Question.
My mother is approaching retirement and has come across $100,000 that she wants to invest with safety in mind and avoid a spin down period if she needs to go to a nursing home. Oh my goodness. A financial advisor that calls himself a fiduciary is trying to get her to buy a 10-year deferred annuity, saying that the asset will be spent and not at risk of a spend down, but will supply an income stream for life. He also promises, I don't know, hold on.
I thought it was in there. Yeah, okay. I think I've
I'm
seen
getting
this
to
one.
it. Yeah. He promises what appears to be a very high return.
Yeah.
$100,000 with a 10-year build period. So it grows for 10 years.
Yeah, right.
And then $16,000 a year for life.
How old
She
is
has
your
asked
mom?
my opinion, and I had to admit that I don't know much about annuities other than when people call your podcast, and it usually isn't very encouraging. Obviously, I want to give her an unbiased answer. Could you please advise if this is an acceptable strategy or if there's something better? First, I just want to, this is the number. $100,000 over 10 years in an annuity, even a variable annuity. The very best you could ever hope for would maybe be a double. And I think that's a ridiculous number.
Oh, I think it is too.
Probably
10 years.
160 over 10 years is more appropriate. And that would work out to a 10% annuitization.
Which nobody's
doing that.
No, that's crazy. Okay, but let's go back to the beginning because this word comes up. It came up again yesterday. Remember, I called you right afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Safety. Safety. There is really only, two things that I know of: bank accounts up to $250,000. Those are safe. You're always going to get your money back. And government T-bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There is nothing else where we can guarantee you're going to get your money back. Guarantee. So after that, there's some degree of volatility you have to live with. So the idea that you're going to have something safe that's going to pay you, anywhere near that amount is outrageous. And I'd love to see the declaration page for that annuity. But I'm not buying it.
And that would actually be, Jonathan, a really, really, really good idea. This is one of those cases where you need to have somebody else take a look at this. There needs to be a second opinion done. And that second opinion needs to be done by not someone who calls themselves a fiduciary, but someone who is willing to put in writing that they always act as a fiduciary, and no one who sells commissioned annuities or commissioned mutual funds or any of this kind of stuff, or who tells a story like this, could ever be a fiduciary at the time they are speaking those words. Because there is no way that $100,000, even in 10 years, could, with a high degree of safety, generate $16,000 a year.
Not in today's environment. It doesn't make sense. 1982, it might have. But
I don't.
Today.
I think this person with whom she is speaking is taking advantage of a senior person.
And I agree. So but I think what you're suggesting makes sense. Now, how does he go find that person? Doesn't have to be us. There's other people out there. The question would be who would be willing to look at that $100,000 investment and say, here's disadvantage.
Fee only advisor.
Well, you could go to DFA US and look there.
Oh, I could. Well, but they won't. Yeah, they might.
Yeah, they
might.
Yeah,
they might. Let me see if I can find one in Laurel.
And maybe they could stop by VIX for the blue plate while they're there.
Well, that's exactly what it's not DFA.US anymore.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
I just typed it in. It works fine.
DFA.US?
No, DFAUS.com.
Oh, .com. I was going to say.
And then you go to, we can do this all together.
It's dimensional.com too. It's just works.
Okay. I can't spell that. And then you go to.
My wife is always saying, how do you spell that? How do you always know how to spell things? I said, because I sound them out.
Then you go to I'm an individual. Then you go find an advisor. And then you go to advisors who primarily use dimensional funds. What's the zip code there?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Okay. If you give me the zip code, I'll see how popular Laurel is as a haven for registered investment advisors and the blue plate
Try
special.
39440.
394. Better get the 3 right. 3944.
I bet I get there faster than you do.
Here we go.
Oh, you gotta do the stupid.
Yeah, I did it.
Robot thing.
What?
You got to do a reCAPTCHA.
I'm not a robot. Come on. Yes, I'm not a robot.
Oh, yeah, you do. Traffic lights.
Here we go. In beautiful Ridgeland, Mississippi. And Gulfport, Mississippi. I have no idea how far away these are. Bush, Louisiana, Ridgeland, Mississippi. There's some people around there.
Really? Let me just.
Louisiana. I mean, there's people there.
All right. Let's see who we
There's
got.
a guy with $1 million minimum. Well, excuse me, in Mobile, Alabama.
Well, that Mobile is a ways.
Yeah, I don't know how far away Bush is. Or
That's what I'm going to look at.
Ridgeland. Ridgeland seems to come up. Stan Purvis. Stan, hope you're a kind person. Oh, with Buckingham. We trust them. We know them.
Oh, he's with Buckingham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Bush, Mississippi.
No, this one's, well, the one they mentioned first is Ridgeland, Mississippi, 39157. Then the next one is Gulfport, Mississippi, then Bush, Louisiana.
Oh, it's in Louisiana. I was going to say I couldn't find one.
Ridgeland, Mississippi
is up there. It's over near Jackson. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And you would expect it to be over near Jackson.
Makes sense.
Because Jackson's the big city. So
people live there.
All righty, everybody. There you go. We got that one done. Now, next question. You ready?
Go for it.
This is out of Olympia, so it's your neck of the woods.
Oh.
Is there any advantage to adding sector funds? The list of holdings seems remarkably similar to the S&P 500 for all of them.
So if you're referring to sector funds as in I own financial stocks, or I own oil or energy stocks, or I own the retail sector, then absolutely not. If you're referring to sector funds in terms of asset class, for example, maybe around momentum, maybe around other factors, small in value, then those, yes. So this is a little trickier. I think sector funds generally, Don, people believe are the things the aforementioned, right?
No, I think they were talking about the first list.
Yeah, and I think in that case, no, that's a speculative. That's saying I believe healthcare will do better over the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Right, and you don't know
Nobody
those
knows
things.
That. No, you don't.
No.
So
you just buy the whole
them?
thing.
Yep.
VT, EZ.
Yep.
VT, EZ. That's what I'm going to do. Is there one with the symbol EZ? I should check.
I don't know.
Quick question. Since the date of retire meet has changed, do I need to re-register?
Wow. Somebody already has that question?
Yep.
We only changed it like a couple of days ago.
They had it.
And that's
came
because
came in on Saturday.
Don couldn't get a flight out of Florida then, and you have to rebook for May. The new date is May 14th, by the way. And I don't believe you have to re-register, no.
I don't
But
think
let me
so
give
either.
Don's cell phone out, and you can call that to check.
Okay, we're going to do one more question, then we're going to call it a podcast, okay?
Okay. All right.
Tom, that's you.
Oh, God, yeah.
Tom recently mentioned that his portfolio is 80-20.
Yes.
I'm in my late 50s, and my allocation is also 80-20. A lot of people my age don't have such an aggressive portfolio. Besides my risk quiz score, should the total amount of money you have in your portfolio have any bearing on how aggressive you should be? I'll give you that first question.
You electronically buzzed right at the key part. Should it have any what?
Should the total amount of money have any bearing on how aggressive you can be?
I'm going to say no, but I mean, again, if you get a certain amount, but if you get a certain amount, you're like, well, now I've won the game and I don't want to take any more risk. Then yeah, you could take less risk because I don't need to. I am 80-20 because I don't plan on using the money for a long time. I'm okay with the volatility. And yeah, I'd rather see it grow more and not have so much in the bonds, which are paying so little today. That's my take.
Yeah, but
That's
he goes
my
on to
personal.
say, well, for instance, Warren Buffett says that his wife should hold a portfolio of 90% S&P 500 and 10% Treasury. Warren, that is terrible advice.
Yeah, it is. But at least it's an index. And I mean, but that's very aggressive.
He sounds like Jack Bogle a little bit,
Yeah, he does. But remember, I don't think she's going to be trying to figure out how to clip coupons to go to the grocery store on Sunday. She'll probably be okay.
That's his point. It seems that it's easier to be aggressive when you have a whole lot of money.
I think we just talked about that yesterday as part of the target date fund, that if you have more and you have enough, then you could afford to be aggressive because you can see the volatility and still have enough to live on. It's okay.
Well, he says, but I have a $600,000 portfolio. When I retire between Social Security and a pension, I won't have to take much out of my portfolio. So that fact alone makes me feel better about 80-20. My real question is that something that should be factored into a decision, or should I just go strictly by how much risk I feel I can take? How much
risk you can take.
I feel I can take, yes.
Yeah, because that's a key part. In other words, if you are 80-20, you need to be ready for a loss of probably 35% of your overall value at some point in the future. If you're not, then you should take less risk. Yes. Should it fit into your overall plan? Absolutely. I would advise you to get a plan because you're in the late 50s to say, how much income am I going to need? How much will Social Security and the pension cover? In addition to that, how much for my portfolio? So therefore, how should my money be sort of managed in stocks versus bonds that'll take care of me the rest of my life and my wife, if that's important, or whoever.
Oh, I'm going to get one more out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just one more. Love the show. I made changes in my portfolio based on your advice. I think y'all, because he's from Alabama, I think y'all, he says y'all,
We're
give tremendous
send
advice.
a Blue Plate special gift.
He's
cert.
in Alabama. He's not in Mississippi.
But how far
it's
away
not
is
far.
it?
It's the
That's
next
not far.
state over.
Yeah, okay. Big
Yeah, actually,
deal.
it's not a big drive to Vic's.
I'm going to call Vic's when we're done about this and see what I can arrange here. Some sort of trade.
Yeah, we trade. Yeah. Yeah,
Old
mail
radio
us that
trade.
Blue Plate special there, Vic. He said, I noticed an error when I listened to some of the old podcasts.
Oh, boy.
You know, they're old. We've learned a lot since then.
Oh, yeah, sure.
A doctor asked you about rolling a whole life policy with a loss into a variable annuity, and you told him not to do it as there was no benefit since there was a loss. There was no benefit to the loss. I don't know if you all are unaware or just misspoke, but y'all it says gave him bad advice.
Yeah.
The caller had spent $135K on life insurance with a cash value of $80K. If he rolls the $80K into a low-cost variable annuity, the next $55K in gains are tax-free, as he's still underneath his basis. That is correct.
And this is a after tax. This is not a qualified.
Yes, I misspoke.
Money.
I was basically saying you can't deduct the loss, but it does reduce your basis. But that was
All right, one more. That was too easy.
a long time ago.
Congratulations on the Maya culpa.
Oh, we're not going to get this one. We'll have to do this one later because I have to do a lot of research on that one.
Okay.
Sorry. You want to do one more?
One more? We got time for one.
Are
We'll
you
squeeze
sure?
One more in. I don't know. Why not? The tree
All
guy's
right.
still outside. He's okay.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
I live in the golden state of taxes and expenses.
Be California.
Yeah, thank you. And work for an employer which has a plan, which has in-plan Roth conversions in the 401k.
Oh, okay.
Question is, should I take advantage of this feature and put in as much as I can or just enough in pre-tax form along with the employer match till IRS limits of 20.5K for year 22 and the rest of my own brokerage account?
So you're a young person. You're younger than 50.
Right.
Yeah.
I have two objectives, which I find hard to balance. Increase the Roth portion of the 401k, currently 1/4 of pre-tax 401k, to half of the 401k. 2, lower my taxable income. I often slip into the 24% bracket. Appreciate your thoughts.
This sounds a little like I want to lose weight, but I want to have chocolate cake every night. I mean, I don't know. Because how do you do both of those things? You can't
do
really.
both. You got to do one or the other. Yeah.
So
I mean, here's the real question. I think the meat of the question lies in this statement, this actual question. Do you believe you will have more money in retirement, have more income in retirement than you have now, or that tax rates in the future will be higher than they are now? And that's the second one. Neither of those we can know. So it's always a guessing game, which is one of the reasons why we say split the baby.
yeah, I think that makes sense. So to end up with half in each, which is your goal, is admirable and probably maybe workable depending on how many more years you have to work. So I would just do some of each. I don't see why you're so stuck on
Right.
one or the other.
Don't do conversions if it's going to kick you up in a year. It's going to kick you up bracket wise.
Yeah, that's important
Don't
too.
limit your conversions to the top of the current bracket you're in. Otherwise, though, you may want to split your contributions. Start splitting it in the future. Maybe do a conversion 1 year up to the max, and then the year after that, since you're not going to do as much converting, that's when you can go up to a higher contribution to the Roth.
And you can still do conversions after you retire, technically. I mean, in other words, you can wait till you have a year of no income.
You have to take an RMDs and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's not till 72. But I mean, what if you quit at 60? Then you have all those years you can do the conversions when you have no income.
Lower tax bracket.
Yeah, so that's going to make a lot more sense. So, yeah, some flexibility there makes sense.
Yeah, and the again, this is our typical answer to almost every question. The world is shades of gray. More than 50 shades of gray. It's like thousands of shades of gray,
It depends.
which could, in a book, get really kinky if you're getting into 1,000 shades of gray. If they had 50, I don't know. I never read the book. I figured I wasn't a woman. Women read it, right?
Yes, they did. Yes,
I
they did.
didn't read it.
Oh.
I think I should write one about money, which is called 1,000 Shades of Gray. Probably have
1,000
huge
shades
sales.
of green.
It's great. All right. Did you have anything else you want to add before you go visit the tree guys?
I do. I do. I'll mention one thing.
What?
We've talked to many of you already this year, and I know many more of you want and need help.
The day's like the
I
year is
know.
11 days old,
And
12 days old.
I've talked to a lot of people
13.
already that's been busy, and I've got a couple more calls today. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because somebody just called me. I want my 1 hour. Great. Get your 1 hour. In this case, he wants a little mini financial plan to see how his income is. Terrific. It's free. It as you point out, there's no obligation. You don't have to become a client, and you're going to learn something. So it's great. And we'll look, if you want, we'll look at your portfolio to tell you how diversified you are, how much risk you're taking, how much you're paying others, which might surprise you.
Nobody really knows.
Nobody knows. In fact, I'd probably have to look at my portfolio to figure out exactly what I'm paying, but it's a lot less probably than you are. But at any rate, take advantage of it. Go right online, set up your own day and time you want to meet with somebody. Boom, we'll get the work done, and there you go.
As a matter of fact, I don't even think they put any restrictions I don't think we even put restrictions on the times and days.
No.
Because Tom pretty much will take it if one of the advisors won't. And
That's true. I probably
so the best bet is to make it for 3 or 4 a.m.
Today it was 4:34, so I would
when
have
you
been
got
ready
up.
to go.
So
yeah.
Tom's ready to go. 4:34.
Can't wait
For you
to
folks on the
sleep in.
East Coast, that's great.
7:30, you're ready to go. So take advantage
All
of it. Go to Vestory.com.
Yeah, you should give them the website.
Right? Is that what
Vestory,
it is? Okay.
Vestory.com.
Take advantage of this.
And call us with your questions anytime at 855-935-TALK or send them in, as so many do, at talkingrealmoney.com. I'm Don. Tom's over there hanging out, answering your questions and talking about real money.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future, so past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Apella Capital, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.